Clearing my throat. Oh my. Hello, hello, and hello. And welcome to another Daily Code Fun. I am Online. And today is Monday. I hope you're all having a fantastic Monday. I'll clear your throat. What? Hello, Grant. Hello, Dukasoft, and hello, Napalm. I am switching to this scene so you can find out if I got a headache. Wait, a headache? I meant haircut. And the answer is no. I'm not as clever as Irish John, but no. I did not get a haircut. Nor will I ever. If you expect me to get a haircut, you are going to be mistaken. My mane is going to grow out forever. Forever. Anyway, hi. Hope you had a great weekend. Mine was really rejuvenating and I got a lot done. So that was also nice. But hi and welcome. Glorious lions have glorious manes. What is going on, Maine? All right, here's my desktop. Magic. We are already over here. So we spent some time doing other things on the stream lately. We played around with BitGamey's landing page because he was using tables on it. And I mean, I'm still absolutely offering to help him out with anything that he would want or need with that. Because it's fun and because he's an amazing person. Humans, as they would say. But the other thing that we were trying to do is get this calculator logic to really for reals work, and we're doing it with a good approach this time. And this approach is test driven, where we have a whole bunch of calculator tests that are currently failing. They were passing at one point, and then I made a change and made them all fail. Those are ignored. With this one. All right, and this is for a project, thank you, Dukasoft, called the Financial Management Tracker, which we've been working on during the stream. It is an application that will allow you to enter in your financial transactions, such as a payment from one of your tracked accounts to something outside of your tracked account, transfer from one tracked account to another tracked account, and deposit from some external source to one of your tracked accounts. If I'm here and not on vacation, am I really even here, says T. Williams, and hello, Masterette. You will see me putting my hands in my hair a lot today. I don't know why, but I will. So anyway, we've been doing this project on the stream because I used to be able to stream my entire day job, which was Blazor web development, and it was eventually going to turn into Blazor cross-platform development, but I left that position before getting to that point. And so now I've still wanted to stream, still wanted to do Blazor development, and I picked an application that we can do as if I were doing a for real application to be created, developed for the real world. Because that's what really matters. I'm almost done being distracted, I promise. But the answer, D. Williams, is absolutely. Even when you're not here, you're here. And we're thankful for you being here too, Dukasoft. All right. So let's keep on keeping on. I really would like to get these tests to work, aka get the calculator to work, but I made all of them fail because I changed the way that the displayed number input get set because I wanted to more closely mimic this calculator. And the reason that we're doing it on our own is because it's fun. There are probably libraries out there that we could use that give us a calculator logic, but I thought it would be fun to write our own, even with all the struggles. I still find it to be very fun. So I hope you do too. And we're going to continue with this today. Oh my goodness, just let me, there you go. And hopefully everything still works nicely. I've been having a little bit more struggles with, what's it called? High reload than I had in the past. And so I use .NET, yes, too. I use .NET Watch because in the past that has helped hot reload work very, very nicely. I've had very few issues with it, but lately it's been acting a little bit more finicky. I don't like finicky. Okay, so that's gonna go there. That's gonna go there. All right, so this is what the app looks like. I'll take you through a really quick whirlwind tour. This is a mocked up landing page. It's for the most part the landing page. This login is fake. It's not a for real thing. None of the buttons do anything. These cards don't do anything. But I like how it says save my password night. But the actual application part of the application is working really nicely. We have data entry forms for each of the transaction types. So in this case, remember that we're talking about transactions as financial transactions, not database transactions, not file transactions, just financial transactions. Money is moving from accounts to places and away from places, hopefully into accounts more often than out of accounts. Well, I don't know, that's a lie. In a typical person's life, they will have more transactions leaving their accounts than they will have coming in, typically. However, the hopeful part of it is that you have larger amounts of finances coming into your tracked accounts than you have going out of your tracked accounts. That's, whoa, that was scary. I hope you guys didn't hear that. My coaster got stuck to the bottom of my bottle. That was really loud. A drink of water. We thought you farted. No, I wouldn't mind if you heard that. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to say. Okay, anyway, so here is the thing that you would use to enter some financial transaction where you paid for a thing. So on, I don't know, pick a day, the 7th, I paid for my monthly subscription to the Dukabot. And that's how we still have them in our chat. And that was, I forget how much. How much did we pay for the Dukabot last time? 2,600. So something like 2,000 monetary units with sales tax of 236.53. It's a fair price. It's fair. And we pay for it using our Cheddar charge. And there it is. Now you're making it look like I'm buying you. That's hilarious. And it posted on the 10th. All right, and there we have it. It updated in real time. My credit charge amount updated in real time in my account summary. If I had this open, we would have seen it pop up immediately. Man, you know, a 2,000 monetary unit monthly subscription, that's not much. He's not a people. He's a non-bot bot. You don't have to worry about that, Grant. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's consensual. Everything's fine. Is that on the binary chart? I don't think it is. So yeah, that's just showing paying for a thing. We could also say, actually, it didn't post on the 10th. It was the 11th. So I need to remove that and fix it. It was the 11th. And you notice that it kept the previous posted date in case I deleted it on accident. So I updated it to the 11th. Because the 10th was, I don't know what day the 10th was. Thursday, maybe? Yeah, gotta be. Why am I laggy? Hello, camera. Why are you being laggy? Okay, moving on. Or actually do this one. Cool. Excuse me. I'm trying to tab around. Ooh. To get to places. So anyway, the reason that I wanted a calculator inside of the app is because I'm often needing to calculate, I don't know, the actual subtotal, for example. There will be times when I am trying to input a receipt into my existing system, which again is an access file, that I do this same exact functionality in. Exactly this functionality. So as I'm entering stuff in, some receipts will have, here's the total, here's the sales tax, here's the service fees, here's the tip. And it's like, I want to break that up into subtotal sales tax service fee. And so I'll have the total, and then I don't want to do the math in my head. So I just want to be able to open the calculator real quick and be like, minus plus blah. So that's what this calculator is going to be. I'm also going to have it to where you can move it around anywhere in the app and then possibly open in a new window or tab if you want. But if you're going to open it in a new tab, you may as well just use the Windows calculator. It's better than mine. So with that, we're taking this as an opportunity, thanks to Peter, for doing TDD. He gave us a whole bunch of tests that he wrote after we came up with the initial implementation. But after going through it and getting the tests to work with it, I'm like, the logic is still completely broken. So I want to start the logic over from scratch. And so now we're doing actual TDD where we have tests that are currently failing and no logic written for what the methods are supposed to do. We just have what is expected to happen. And so one thing to update real quick is the expected input num display is going to be the calculated value. After we push the equal sign. Then we don't actually have the calculated value Ooh, that's going to be hard. I don't think that that's what it would show currently. Oh, right. None of my buttons work. Because right now the way that the num input shows up is it does the actual decimal value. So I think I will have it just say 0. And then have the formula be the thing that tells us you can't divide by 0. Okay, so then what happens if we push this sequence of numbers? We will get the calculated value as our final number display. Thank you so much for the follow, PhD data scientist. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a bad news. PhD data scientist is going to fix me though, right? This is probably not how you create your own calculator, but it's how I'm doing it. Hello, Thindle. I see you over on Clay's stream. Not really paying attention to chat, really, but I see you everywhere that I am, which is really cool. I love our community. I love that we can have this type of community where we all support each other. If you guys don't know Thindle, Thindle is an awesome .NET developer. Feel free to give him a follow if you're not following already. Check out his channel at least. He'll be streaming again tomorrow in about 24 and a half hours or 24 hours from now. I think that's how much time has passed since he posted in Discord that it would have been 26 and a half hours. I wasn't fully paying attention. No, you too. And Mojo's here. Hello, Mojo. Mojo says, creating my second sproc stored procedure. I asked the senior dev to check my previous work to make sure I'm on the right track. And he said, I don't know what LMK is. When it's all there and we can push to let me know. Oh my goodness. Fingers crossed I don't knock him out. I don't lock him out. I don't want to punch him. 24 hours and 45 minutes. So yeah, Thindle has been working on various things. The one that I really, really love watching him work on is the migration efforts that he's been doing for .NET Framework to .NET Core with elements of Blazor kind of stuff. But he does more than just that. He has a talk that he'll be doing, which you can always talk about whenever you want, Thindle. Self-promote. Of course. Okay, so we're not going to have the expected calculated value because we're getting the expected calculated value from the current value. The current value. Expected calculated value is coming from this current value element that I have removed from the UI. It used to be up here, so we no longer have that. And so that gets rid of our expected calculated value stuff. Speech, speech. They want to hear your presentation now. Right meow. Great. No expected calculated value. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Perfect. And I do love that we are getting exceptions when we are getting rid of these things. No, I selected too much on that one. That's fine. It'll auto format. Carry to Hue, carry to Hue, 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 Hue. Who's Hue, and why are we getting rid of him? Did I get rid of a thing that I didn't mean to get rid of? Expected value is null. It's just that we don't need this. So there seems to be, I didn't actually realize this part when Peter gave this to us, but there is a check to make sure that you are testing something. You're either testing the expected input number display or the expected formula display. One and or the other. So that's really cool. It's a nice little switch on this one method that we use for testing all of the functionality, which is pretty awesome. Again, I really like this approach. And it says maybe for our test, we only want to test the expected input num display. That way we really are just doing one thing. So this thing would be two separate tests. Divide by 0 output works. So calculated output works. And divide by 0 formula output works. And for the first one, we only test to make sure that the calculated value is working. For the second one, we only test that the expected formula is outputting correctly. And that way we're only testing one thing, even though it looks like this thing is testing multiple things. So I really, really like that. I wonder if you can name these. I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can, but that's fine. Because in this case, it would be, again, the same, where we are doing this exact same thing, except with just the calculated value and just the format. Null 1. Actually, not even null 1. We would just... Actually, we could do that. We could do that here. But then we would want to name the test something different. Yeah. So one for the formula, one for the calculated value. But I still like it a lot. I still like it a heck of a lot. So anyway, I don't need this to be two separate tests. I'm happy with them both being one. All right, so I've cleaned up our tests, and this is exactly the behavior that I want to see. So we're going to get these to work by implementing the methods. Yeah. Go play. Go play. Juice. My eyebrow hairs are getting as long as the hair on the top of my head too. Signs you are advancing in age. Okay, so here we go. We already have two passing tests. Our negative button press works. I don't remember implementing that, but hey, that's cool. So if I push 1, negative, 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 negative. So it will constantly toggle between a -1 and a +1. 0.0, 2. Ooh. Oh, that needs to be fixed. We'll have to do a decimal test. I don't know if you just saw what I did that failed. I put a 1, I put a decimal, so that decimal is active, and then I push 0, but I didn't get a printout of 0, and I really should. And hello, Julian. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure that we still are able to negate the value even if we have a decimal number. Cool. Excuse me. Have a tickle in my throat. Okay. Where are we at? What are we doing? Where are we going? We're trying to get this to work is what we're doing. Okay, so calculator logic, we apparently have the negative click working correctly. Then positive number entry works, which is we just type in a number and we get back that number in the expected display. Okay, starts at 0. Did that one work? Starts at 0 worked. Oh, not run. Where were you not run? Slap in the face yesterday. How so and why? Okay, good. It failed. From I'd like to call him previously very good friend, but we've barely spoken for a bit. Was it a figurative slap in the face or a literal slap in the face? I'm very open with my issues with my thinky thingy. Okay, figurative. Hello, JJ forever. Hi. You can just call me JJ. Awesome. I love JJ. Have you ever watched Skins UK? JJ's awesome. No, stop sticking. He asked how I was, and I answered honestly. I got told that I should take my martyr's crown. I think that's a word in English. I'm programming a clock in P5JS. I don't know what P5JS is. Enlighten us. Are you enjoying yourself? Is it hard? Is it fun? Is it easy? JJ. I'm now typing JJ. It's called JJJS is what it's called. P5JS is like a thing where you can draw with JavaScript. So it's almost like in regular Java, you had a thing called JBuilder. Can I get some examples? Yeah, okay. I was thinking the opposite though, where you can draw, like sketch out your UI or whatever it is that you're trying to create in a WYSIWYG, and then it generates the JavaScript for you. So not quite JBuilder, but the opposite. But it still looks like an easy way to do drawing in JavaScript. And it looks like maybe you have similar lifecycle events to like what you would have in Unity, where you have a setup step and then a draw step that happens repeatedly, maybe. So like if I had a let me start you at 4D. Oops. No. So this is maybe not an update step kind of thing. This is just draw once, maybe. But here is a fiddle, essentially. It is a spinning cube. And a cube, not really a cube. It is a spinning Six-sided object. Oh, wait. It turned into a cube suddenly. How did that happen? Wait, is it just my eyeballs playing tricks on me? Because I keep looking down, but it looks like this face gets smaller. Oh, this is trippy. Like whatever face is in front seems, maybe it's just a perspective camera. I don't know if it was the right word. I've never heard the phrase put on your martyr crown. I mean, I can assume what it means. Offerkofta in Swedish. Literally a victim's cardigan. Yeah, stop feeling sorry about yourself and quit complaining about it kind of thing. But, you know, like for me, sometimes you just do, like, especially if someone is asking you for an honest answer, then it's up to you how you answer. And if they aren't ready to receive whatever honest answer you have, then that's on them. So yeah, it's really weird. And it's most likely just the whole, because this is the back face, it's going to be smaller. But it's just like at some point in time, if you stare at it too long, then it just looks like the side faces or the faces themselves are not the same width. And it's because it's in perspective. And yeah. Although, wouldn't that make this the front face? No, the one closest to the camera would be bigger, and the one furthest would be smaller. It's weird. Anyway, hi, Max. No, that's what I mean. He asked you, how are you doing? And you told him honestly. And then he's like, you know, you need to stop feeling sorry about yourself and quit complaining. So sometimes that is, so if it was a good situation for that to happen, sometimes it is good advice to give to someone. But a lot of times the person that is saying I'm having a rough time is just is looking for an empathetic ear. It's just whether that person does it super duper often and they're just kind of like using other people, or if they actually do just need to offload some stuff. So there's a balance. As with all things, do it too often and people are going to treat you like you're just looking for attention kind of stuff. And you can use HTML in P5.js. That's awesome. So yeah, thank you for showing us P5.js. I would love to see a Blazor wrapper put around it. So predominantly on this channel, we do .NET development. And because of Blazor, there's very little JavaScript stuff that we do. But I really have been wanting to use something like A-Frame, for example. To do AR on the web. And in doing that, I've just wanted to put a wrapper, a Blazor wrapper around this, so that you're using Blazor components instead of custom HTML tags. And it would still use the underlying A-Frame JavaScript library, but it would do so without the user needing to import it themselves. Exactly, Dukasoft. Coding Train on YouTube made cool stuff with P5.js. Yes, okay, that's where I have seen P5.js. Now that you say that, Coding Train is awesome. I love their content. So much fun times. And JJ says that's where I learned about P5JS. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that you're experimenting with it. I love hearing about people just playing with technology, and definitely let us know how you continue progressing in it. Okay, back to Thindle. Maybe Thindle stopped typing. So anyway, Thindle, I'm just trying to let you know that we have a rant channel for any time that you do have things that are just like bugging you, that you just want to get off your chest with no judgments. You're always allowed. Just, the only ask that I have if you're going to use the rant room is to be mindful of other people. Try not to make it about other people, mostly events or situations, which, I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid mentioning other people because they're typically the ones that cause certain situations and environments to happen. But, it's just not I hate my boss. It's I hate this situation that happened because of my boss coming to work with COVID, for example. All right, and Max says, guys, which is the best website to practice JavaScript? Like, where you get a problem or task and you got to code it in the web? I mean, there's a bunch. There's like LeetCoder. There's Free Code Camp has a whole bunch of JavaScript challenges. Code Ninja. I don't know, other things. Well, I hate that my boss chose to come in with COVID, knowing he shouldn't, kind of thing, and gave my wife and me COVID. I will never, ever drop that. It was the worst situation, like one of the worst, I guess, situations that has happened to me in my work life. And I just don't know why you would have chosen to do that. But then I would go off and complain about him and the things that he has done as opposed to how that situation affected me. So I try to avoid that. Okay, let's get more calculator. Calculator. Ill calculator. Scooch. All right, Max. Enjoy chess. Apparently, bosses all over the US, like 80% of the polled ones, regret how they've handled the back to office transition. And who is your boss, Dukasoft? I'm gonna assume, and you know what happens when you make assumptions. Because they've lost talent and killed morale by mandating it like they have. Yeah, it's like there are people that absolutely enjoy going into an office, and those are the people that should be in the office. There is something to be said about, do teams that have people that want to be in an office or believe their team members should be in an office so that they can communicate better that way? Are they successful if they have a mixed team? And I would wager to say yes, but I haven't done any research or polls or anything on it. But I think that mixed teams would thrive regardless of whether there are people that don't believe you should be working from home. Like ever. And people that want to work from home 100%. Kind of weird how Zoom of all companies have mandated back to office hybrid, but still. Yeah, I think one of the main concerns of major tech companies is, of course, safety. Whatever the word is, they want to make sure that their IP, that their product isn't subject to be leaked or anything like that. you know what I'm trying to say. I can't word right now because I'm not really thinking along those lines. I'm thinking along the lines of this calculator. But the point is that you would, or that there are companies that want to make sure that they control where their software is being developed, that the data that they have is not taken off premise, even if it's like in the cloud, then it's somehow more secure going through their network to the cloud and not stored on a personal computer or on a network from home, even if you VPN. Because what happens if the user forgets to turn on their VPN and they're trying to send data somewhere versus they're on the company network? They're always monitorable, and you would see if someone tries to send an email with, say, source code from their work to their personal. So anyway, makes sense for some places, but not for all. Okay. Jigsaw says there was this thing that all used for a few years. Whoa, hold on. I can't say hardly. Oh, can't say sadly, not myself. Well, she's almost my boss. Yeah, that was my assumption. Okay. Let's see. There was this thing that all used for a few years. Zoom, and it was gone. I think I got it. Okay, I had to get the joke. It took me a minute though. I had to read it slow. Then it said, if I forget to turn on my VPN, I can't reach my stuff because it's behind a VPN. Yeah, unless you drag and drop it to your desktop, in which case it's local. Or if you have downloaded your GitHub repository, for example. And whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's do number input. Wait, we already have number input working though? Starts at 0. Negative works, positive works. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. So we do have our number entry working. JJ, you're the second one. Hush, Thindle. You're the second one to ask Thindle if he's from Sedalix's channel. What did you do on Sedalix's channel that made you infamous? That made everyone know you from there? I can't. Obvious, but still. That doesn't make other people be like, aren't you the one that used to be on Layla's channel all the time? Aren't you the one from C Sharp Frizz's channel? Aren't you the one from Clayman's channel? No, it's always Sedalix. What did you do on Sedalix's channel? I know you kind of am, but nobody knows you from that, apparently. Anyway, JJ, yes, we all definitely love Sedalix too. I love this community of developers. I just started watching someone called Noble Lemon because of Irish John Games, which of course you all know Irish John Games as well. And I'm really liking Noble Lemon's content. Which I think was pixel art the last time I was watching them. And currently they are streaming pixel art. So again, I love watching artists. I love watching Unity developers because I want to get into Unity. In fact, I forgot to post our community day video over the weekend, but it's up on YouTube now. And you will see at the last hour and a half of that video was Deflux and I were going through the WebView tutorial. for getting a web view control in a HoloLens application, in an MRTK application actually, that we were targeting HoloLens. And so we did that. And that was a lot of fun. So I like watching Unity devs to get some ideas on how to actually do dev in Unity. I'm also that guy from Thindle's channel. And I was sitting in a corner all quiet, like Digsoft is like, oh, that guy, I've seen him. Hugs, hearts. And if you guys are interested in what this NoDocs thing is about that Dukasoft just posted, that Thindle created, it is a way for you to be able to mask your JSON and XML files in case you happen to be streaming or presenting and you open your secrets, for example. Then it's like, oh, I did not mean to open my secrets, but you know what? That's not an issue because no one can see my actual values because NoDocs has masked it out for me. And if for some reason there is a typo in it, it just masked out the whole thing. If it's malformed, if it doesn't know how to parse it. There are a couple of gotchas with it though. So if you have the, so I forget what this is called, navigation preview for your scroller, then you will be able to see the values. They won't get masked in there currently. It doesn't work with YAML at the moment. But it's still really cool and very, very nice. YAML, TAML, INIs, only XML and JSON at the moment. That's okay, I don't work with YAML either. Nice, Dukasoft. Truth. It's blazing fast for XML. Very cool. Clicked. All right, I do want to fix this. Actually, I want to do I want to write a test for it because that'll be the first one that I fix. It's going to be decimal input. Works. Starts at 0, positive number entry works. Positive, we'll call this positive whole number entry. And then we'll call this just decimal. Decimal number entry works. And we're going to do a 1 followed by a period, followed by a 0, followed by a 5. And the output that we want is 1.05, but we aren't going to get that. So this test should fail. I should be able to push Control KT. Night. What's the button? Control RT. Oop, except that I held Control R and Control T. You want to write a test, you animal? How dare? Okay, so that test should have failed. We'll see a red X. No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Okay, back to you. Decimal entry works is false, and the reason why it failed was because we got 1.5 back instead of 1.05 in our output. And that's because, as you saw, when I push 1, I turn on the decimal point by pushing it once, and then I push 0, we don't output the 0 when we should. Oh, that's going to be a fun special case, isn't it? Oh man, that's going to be a really hard one. How am I going to do that? Oh, I think we're going to have to come back to this one. So when I push a number, if decimal is active, what I do is I multiply the current number by 10 and then put the number in front of it. Man. Or put the number after it, sorry. And that's because I'm treating the part after the decimal point as a whole number, which means that it has no leading zeros. I'm not going to be able to do my decimals the way that I was expecting to. Oh man. So if anyone does have any thoughts for how to get leading zeros in this approach, well, I don't want to treat it like text at first. So what I've been doing is treating the whole number part as a number and the decimal part as a number. And then the displayed is a concatenation of the whole number part plus decimal part. So yes, we could, and then that would be a whole bunch of string concatenation every single time that we want to add a digit, which is possible. Boo. Yeah, and that would mean having the entire thing just be a string. We could do that. We could do that. Private string input num. And then we'll initialize it to string. Actually, we'll initialize it to 0. Maybe we could treat only the decimal part as a string. And that way the whole number part will act the way that we're expecting it to. Because right now, that's how we're getting negative to work. We're just negating, instead of, needing to search, is there a negative at the beginning of the string? If so, remove it. Otherwise, put it there. We're just, we're just negating the actual number part. Whereas we can check to see if the number of elements in, or if the string for decimal part is null or white space. Okay, so let's see how that would work. Let's go ahead and make this big. Instead of treating the whole thing as a string, we will only treat the decimal part as a string. And we'll start off with string.empty. And then in place of all of our string, or our decimal part is greater than 0, we will use, excuse me, there should be at least one more, right? There we go. Not string is null or white space. Decimal part. And then decimal part will be num parts. And we'll just do dot last versus 0. Okay, so when we are setting our displayed input number, we are telling the whole number part to be math.floor of the thing that we're setting it to. And then we're setting the decimal part to be split at the decimal point dot last. Stop that. All right, what else do we fix? All right, for setting the actual decimal part, we will do plus gets the input number. Can we do it just as this and it'll know to do a string concatenation? Pretty sure. And now the last one is when we are removing. Oh, I guess I don't have remove implemented yet. Okay, so we'll have to keep that in mind when we're doing remove. But this would just be string.empty. Okay, so check our test. I just pushed Control RT and there is a build error. Why is there a build error? I don't see any errors. Sumimasen. Napalm says, trying to figure out how to get types out of service collection without building a service provider. Why is that such a pain? It is. I had to do something similar to that recently. What is going on, tooth? My tooth feels like, have you ever had a sensitive tooth when you like bite into something cold? It's kind of happening to one of my teeth right now. Oh. Anyway, kind of like biting into cotton. Bleh. Stop tagging me in these. I'm not even in this organization and I keep getting tagged on these PRs. Anyway, why is that such a pain? Checking the types in a service collection without needing to build it. What do you have at this point when you're trying to get the types inside of your service collection? Do you have a service builder? SAML.cs. Man, I really don't like the way that we do this. But that's okay. It doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, an iService provider. Is that what you have? Where's the dot build? Yeah. Service collection. Do you have a service collection? I'm doing dynamic registration for C# Fritz's thing, and I need to return an array of the providers registered back to the registerer. And the only way you get a service provider is by doing service collection.build, right? That feels heavy and not preferable. True. Yeah. I couldn't logic anything off the top of my head. extra one came from. Karen says, why do you need to do that? You're describing the how, but not the what. So did you see the comment about doing dynamic registration in a service collection? So I'm assuming that you're dynamically registering to a service collection, and then you need to get back the service well, you put service providers. So you are doing a dynamic registration to the IOC. And it's because we are making it so you can dynamically add DLLs to a folder that get picked up and add social media providers at runtime or at compile time. At runtime. Oh. Wow. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I understand the concept, but I don't know how to implement it either without doing a whole bunch of research. Like, I have a whole bunch of services that get registered to my service collection that I need to. No. You're absolutely okay. No need to apologize. I have a whole bunch of services that get registered to the service collection, but before I do a build, I need to do a check on that service collection for, are these things enabled for my app? And that is on initial startup. But then after that, I do a service collection.build. Because the way that we're doing it is we have an asynchronous build, and we want the UI to still be able to present placeholders for various elements. And the only way that this particular element would show up is if this service was registered to the service collection. Ooh, that's a good one, Tyron. Tyron says, I wonder if you register a top level factory and that factory creates its own service collection and then rebuilds as needed. So you only have essentially one service provider that's injected, or maybe two, maybe one that is your initial startup service provider and then one that is your service provider for all of these dynamic services that come from that factory. An empty service collection. Yeah, and the only thing that would be is the service collection, and then anytime it's modified, that's when you would need to do a build. Or is that what you're handling? You're kind of intercepting the dependency injection part where it's asking for that particular thing so that you can list out, here's all of your plugins or whatever your DLLs are for. And you provide a new instance of that DLL. Oh, my brains. Anyway, Peter says, I'm impressed and also disgusted. I don't want to help bring such a thing into the world. Good luck. When the trials begin, I will be innocent. Chain the existing iService provider. Yeah, that'd be cool. Deceptively complex. I mean, like, let alone the fact that I've only recently, and by recently I guess I mean in the last 2 years, really understood a little bit more about IOC and what it actually means to have a dependency injection container. But I've never had to mess with multiple service providers. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be able to set up my own dependency injection container, period. Because I don't know enough about that part. If I knew more about that part, then I could be like, yeah, exactly what Tyrant says. You just create a factory and then you do your own instantiation. Maybe if Thindle has time, I don't know if this is even applicable, but if Thindle has the bandwidth, maybe Ninject could help here. Ooh, or maybe use S-Man, and he's already come up with some resources. Thanks, Thindle. There is a create instance on type description provider that is intended to create an object that can substitute for another data type. So this is the thing that you're using when you create an entry, maybe using the add transient, add scoped, or add singleton. This is the activator dot create instance. By default. Okay. And this is cool stuff. What's funny is the code to do the dynamic registration is only 26 lines. Don't quote me, but under the hood, there is code that iService provider uses. I'm quoting you by reading out your chat, but I know what you mean. This may not be 100% accurate. There's code that iService provider uses to create objects. I bet you can piggyback on that to do that at runtime. Yeah. I mean, it is out of my league as well. I can only understand the concepts. I don't know the implementation. I would love to. That was fun, though. That was really fun. Okay. We're built now. I need to run this test for decimal number entry. I think new service collection might be it, and merge with the initial. Cool. Yeah, I hope it does work out. Always let us know. And don't worry about derailing things. I mean, this stream is all about exploring.net. Even if that means something. What does that mean? Even if that means going on to a different topic than what we're actually doing on stream. Fridays are the days that I reserve to do that explicitly, but I mean, we kind of welcome that any day of the week that we stream. I know better. Bad Napalm. Discord also works. Which I think Napalm did post in Discord. I don't know if it was this specific situation. No, Napalm posted... Oh. Napalm posted about his job search woes and his current situation. If I recall correctly. IIRC. So Peter says to Napalm, here's a Stack Overflow answer or response. And this question is specifically get all implementations of an interface. Yeah, but he wants to do it at runtime. So you can do it from doing the actual dependency injection after the service collection is built to a service provider. And he's kind of wanting to do it in a way where you don't need to build the service collection. service collection really should just be, in his case, a lookup to dynamically added DLLs at runtime to a folder, if I am understanding correctly. But anyway, I wasn't here, and this will be necessary. Registering a bunch of plugins and reasoning about the entire list of plugins as a single collection. Reminder, I wasn't here, and my hands are clean. There is no permanent record of this, so I'm good. Except for, you know, the whole saying all of your chat messages out loud and posting this to YouTube. But no permanent record. It's still impermanent because it could disappear from the internet. No! Stop locking that. Okay, if that's the case, yes, there are specific plugin nuggets to use, but I don't know what they are either. I know MEF from a million years ago worked. I can read. You're typing just fine. My reading is flawed. Okay, did our test pass? I just want to know if our test passed. Decimal number entry works. Okay, so that means that we should be able to do one. I'm trying to use my numpad. We haven't even implemented that yet. 1.00000, as many zeros as we want, followed by other numbers. Cool. All right, so that number entry works. Peter, if you didn't see the beginning or hear the beginning because you were just being busy, completely understandable. I think you may remember that last time I just cleared out all of the logic from everything, and so now I am doing actual TDD with the test that you gave us and that we modified. So we're essentially back to red, and now we're trying to make each one in turn green one at a time, which, you know, just by the nature of fixing one thing, we are going to fix multiple things. So I will get used to this approach. I do like it, and I know that in the long run it will benefit me as a developer. I just got to get over the hurdle of deciding what to test, which tests to write. That's really the hardest part for me. Okay, so I'm gonna collapse all of our greens. Plain. Like, how far can I collapse it all? All right, so now we're on basic addition. And so what this means is getting the plus sign to work in such a way that when we press a number followed by the plus sign, and we're going to look specifically at the plus sign, followed by another set of numbers, that the 1 goes away, gets stored somewhere, the plus sign gets stored as some kind of operator, and then the next set of numbers gets stored up until the point when you push equals or another operator. But this is, again, going to be basic addition, so the only thing we care about is number plus operator, number, equal operator. So that's all we're going to get to work. Just that. Ooh, we got a follow. Thank you so much, follow Percy. Percy Dev. And I also just got disconnected from chat. That's fun. Anyway, hi Percy Dev, welcome to the channel. If you have not seen this channel before, if you just haven't been lurking in the past, we're working on a stream project. So I used to be able to stream my normal day job, which was Blazor development, full stack. Moved jobs, I'm not able to stream my current day job, so I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 hours. And so we picked a project to work on during the stream that is still full stack Blazor development. In this case, it's cross-platform, so we're targeting Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, Tizen, web. Did I get them all? I think I got them all. I'm doing the development in web because it's easier for me, but it's all the same UI. It is using programming practices that you would use if you were on a team, such as using source version control, using branches, a good branching strategy, at least a branch strategy that works great for this project. We don't really have, that main release branch and then a dev branch on top of that. We just have that one main branch, and we're doing all of our work using GitHub issues and then creating a branch based on that issue that we're working on, and then doing pull request. We have a pipeline that Thindle created for us. I've been wanting to do TDD for the longest time, since the beginning of the project. I started a little bit of it, but oh, sorry if it's a bit much. I started a little bit of it at the very beginning, but since this application is using a database, I got stuck and hung up on mocking the database when I was trying to do the unit tests initially. So it kind of got dropped for a while, but then I started creating this calculator because we finished all of the core functionality of the application. And the calculator, HTML and CSS and JavaScript originated from another one of our community members named Max. He is now 16, and he created it in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I'm like, I want a Blazor calculator. So that's what we are working on now, is a Blazor version of the calculator. Since I created this thing, Peter, Live Coding, decided just to have fun with it, created a bunch of tests for us. Go Max! Created a bunch of tests for us. And we are now using those tests as unit tests, as TDD unit tests, where we are trying to get each of the functionality pieces to work in turn. Right now we have a bunch of red failing tests. And so we're going through and getting them to turn green. Yay! Maybe I need to timestamp that so that whenever someone is new to the channel, well, I guess this doesn't really talk about the full project. So the financial management calculator is a way for you to be able to enter your own finances manually. It doesn't connect to any of your financial institutions. It doesn't do anything cool yet. I'm not planning on having it connect to financial institutions, but I am planning on having it do forecasting and recurring bills that will show up as pending. And then you still have to go in and say, yes, that bill happened. The transaction date was this, and it posted on this date from this account. It'll have the account built in, but all of the line items will be there. If it's like a recurring paycheck, then you could put that as a recurring thing as well, or recurring deposit, recurring transfer, whatever. But again, this doesn't connect to your financial institution. It's really just for whoever wants to use it. In this case, me. I'm kind of selfishly using this because right now I have an Access application that has all of this logic and functionality. It has my financial data since 2014 that I manually entered. And so I just want to be able to do it using a Blazor application. So you can do payments, money going from one of your tracked accounts to someone else. Deposits, money going from somewhere else to one of your tracked accounts. Transfers, money going between your tracked accounts. Simple, yeah? Simple. Okay, squish you again. And of course, we want to do all of the programming principles. We also want to do things like good UI, so making this more responsive, and cleaning up the actual UI itself by doing some more design work and UX work. Dad called, needed computer help. He taught me everything I know about computers. Well, everything I used to know about computers, but he's getting old. Dukasoft says, would you be able to import stuff from Access? Because my Access application is using the SQL Server backend, yes, I will. So that is the goal. I structured the database to be similar to the database that I use as my existing backend. So this is the one from our app currently, I believe. and I don't think I have a connection to the one that Access uses, but if you saw it, you would see it looks very similar to this. It's different because of naming stuff, and I did break things out a little bit better using better database design, but I'm pretty sure I'd be able to write a mapping pretty easily from my existing data to this data structure. And what do you use Access for? So I used it for everything. I used it for my daily work back in 2004. And I created VB macros, as well as pretty rich UI interactability by using, in Access you could do forms and stuff. I don't think I have any good Access things that I could open. Maybe this one. Does this actually have any UI? Okay, so this was when I was playing Black Desert, and I was just trying to do things like give me all of the quests that I have completed. I want to track all of my quests and stuff. So it's not really all that great. That one could not find my files. So yeah, there's very little UI to this. It was just a whole bunch of tables that were thrown into a display. Yeah, this is worse than my usual stuff. But I also created an entire human resources management type system in Access. And again, all of the back-end stuff, all of the code and everything was in VBA. And so since I was pretty comfortable with that, that's what I decided to make my own personal financial tracker in. But then I learned .NET, and I was like, I really want to port this Access stuff over to .NET, but I never did. So that's what we're doing. So Thindle says there's an Access driver for .NET too, so you could have built an importer for that too. Yeah, if you had, if my data was still in the Access database stuff, then yeah, that would have worked. Fun fact, there's now an official first-party Excel integration in that game as well. So you can move your current data over to Excel without copy pasta. I think I know about that. I've done a lot of stuff with Excel database. Yeah, I used to just do everything with VBA because I worked in an office that did not allow me to do real stuff. That's mean. VBA is still real software development, but you know what I mean by real software development. I wasn't able to make whole applications using .NET. At the time, it would have been VB.NET or WinForms or Web Forms. And then a little later, MVC, WPF. If this works, I learned something today, and thanks to Tyron for the idea to use another service collection. Yeah, I really hope it works for you. Like, it almost seems like it really is its own service that just happens to have a service collection in it. So my dynamic service loader, or my dynamic service loader, and then you dependency inject a my dynamic service loader, and then you do .load from directory, grab all the DLLs, find any that aren't already loaded into your service collection, put them in. That sounds fun. Not sure I would have thought of that. It's obvious, but also different because I have never seen app with multiple service collections. Yeah, me either. Or service providers, which I guess means service collections. I wonder if, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but that's cool. It's very cool. Okay, I need to write this operator logic because I want to see this test for basic addition turn green. Again, we're only concerned with the plus sign operator working at this point in time. We will add another operator, which would probably end up making the rest of the operators work. But right now, this is the only test that I am focused on. And thank you, GM Kota, for the follow. Yes. Okay. So what we're going to do is if you're pushing an operator, and again, we're only caring about the plus sign. So when you push the plus sign operator, we're going to store the operator. Oh, I guess we need plus sign and the equal sign. So we're going to, say if the operator is operator.submit, which is the equal sign, then we're going to perform the operation of the stored value with the previous operator and the current input value. Then we're going to store in all cases the previous operator. So the last thing that we pushed would have been equal sign in this case up here. All right, so otherwise, yeah, and I think we're gonna do it in a switch statement. I know that I was gonna just do it with an if else if, knowing that we would need to refactor it because we have multiple operators, but we'll just go ahead and make it a switch up front. So we'll switch on operator. If the operator is a submit button, we perform the operation, break. Otherwise, if it's add, then we need to store the current number that was input, set the active operator equal to operator. That way you can see which one you're doing the math for. So different than the Windows calculator where when you push the plus sign, you get it up here. I am setting the, actually, you know what? We can still do that though. We can still do that. Gosh, I'm already starting to confuse myself. Anyway, we're just setting this thing as an active button so that you can see it is orange. Do OG calculator. What do you mean? Oh, you mean the, so people keep asking for that. The other notation calculator where it's number, enter, other number, operator. Okay, Napalm. Yeah, I mean, there was a good suggestion where as you're typing it, instead of the way that Windows calculator does it where it puts it in this display area up here, you just start typing your numbers out, and then when you push an operator, it just shows up in there. It doesn't actually do the computation, and then you just keep pushing stuff and then appending it to this big long formula until you push the equal sign. And I thought about it. I'm like, that's not a terrible idea. But I think I'm just more using the Windows calculator as a model because I'm comfortable with it. And if I were going to be using this in my app, I'd want it to be similar. But yeah, that is a good idea. I'm not telling you that your idea is bad. I like your idea. Okay, so we're setting the active operator, and we're going to have our formula output. Again, We are doing this only in this way, where we are pushing one number, we're pushing the operator plus sign, we're putting in two numbers consecutively afterwards, and then the equal sign. So we aren't really considering that we could do number plus other number plus other number. So this plus, the second plus that we push, would be another addition first, and then do that number with this one. So that made sense. Yep. So we're going to do current calculated value. Oh, right. So because of that, we're going to do current calculated value is going to be the currently input number. And then our formula output is going to be the currently calculated value plus, well, I'm going to go ahead and use my get display text extension method. And then we'll leave it at that, because that again matches this where you type in a number, push the plus sign. It doesn't clear out the input number, but now our input number is $30. How did I do this before? I need a way for the calculator to know that if I push another number while there is an active operator, I want to clear out my current display. I think I am going to do this slightly different than the Windows calculator. When I push the plus sign operator, which is where, I will go ahead and clear. And so this regular clear, the only thing it does is it clears out my current input, my current decimal status, and my current negative status. Wait, I don't even have to worry about negative status because I'm not tracking that in a flag, right? When I push the negative. Yeah, you know what would be interesting is to see this thing show as active as well when my displayed number is active. This is me doing things that I probably shouldn't be doing while I'm trying to get just one functionality to work. Shh, but don't tell me that. I will just laugh at myself. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is if the displayed input number is less than 0, then we will give this thing a class of active, otherwise null. And this way, when I have, you can reformat, it's fine. You can get your format back. You can get your format back. Oh, because I put that in type, not in class. Shh. Oops. Oh, and now you're not going to fix yourself. No, I completely broke it. Oh, yeah? Well, same to you. Oh, is it because I also still have build errors? Because I hadn't finished? No, I don't have any build errors. You can do it. we go. Okay, calculator, there we go. So now if I do negative, then I don't have a negative flag, but I can still mark this thing as active because my actual displayed value is negative. Just like when I have my decimal point active, this one has a flag that says decimal is active because maybe I didn't want to push decimal yet. Maybe I wanted to keep adding whole numbers. And now I want to add my decimal numbers. Awesome. And then when I push the plus sign, that clears this out. We're still plus active. Decimal is no longer active. We are no longer a negative number. So what I put in next, and then the equal sign, now we need to just implement the equal sign. So when equal is pressed, we need to perform the operation. And to perform this operation, we're just going to do switch on op yet on previous op yet again. For the case of operator.add, we're going to do our calculated value plus gets displayed input num. We're going to do our formula. Is going to be formula output. Oh yeah, I guess because we already have our formula output, all we're doing is just adding the thing that we just typed with an equal sign and then the value, the resulting value. Then, because the Windows calculator does this and we're kind of following along with that, we are going to put the current value in our display input num, not our display input num, because this thing knows how to parse it. Or M. Okay, this thing has logic for parsing a decimal into the whole number part and the decimal part. Okay, so that means our test should now pass for basic add. Let's do and it doesn't because we got back 21.0 as opposed to just 21 because decimal is getting set to 0 here instead of string.empty. And num's last is greater than 0. That's not going to work. We'll do an adjustment step afterwards, and then we can think about refactoring. So this is another thing that maybe going test first is making me do. I am not overthinking how to get everything to look amazing, I guess. Yeah, trim end. Ooh, I like that. So like what I would want to do is find a way to make sure that num parts is greater than 0, or the number of items in parts, which means that there is a decimal point. And again, this is currently only localized to the US because other systems use a comma for their decimal separator. So this would only work when you're formatting using US units or other units that use the decimal kind of formatting. But what I'm doing in this next step, which I can do here, is I am removing any trailing zeros. And that way, if the number is only 0, then it should end up being an empty string. And if it's an empty string, which we would only need to do this trim end if we're doing that one. Perfect. Okay. If this ends up being an empty string, then we will not output a decimal. Whereas setting it to 0 means that the decimal part was 0.0. Okay, so do our test again. And basic addition now works. However, basic division and multiplication and subtraction do not work. So I want to do subtraction next. And so what we can do is we can, for now, duplicate the stuff that we already have. And then we'll notice, hey, I have multiple things that are done in the same step that are no different than the other. So let's pull that out and not repeat. Same thing here, where we will do subtract, subtract. Ooh. And I think we're going to do this in a slightly smarter way, where we're going to have our formula output and a parser for our first input, operator, second input. Always doing other things at the same time. How dare? Okay, so with this, basic subtraction should work. Where are you, basic subtraction? No. Oh, my pinky dexterity. I need to remember to lift it up before my second key in the chord. But whatever. Anyway, it didn't need to hit any breakpoints because it passed. So says this. Basic subtract works. Let's go ahead and do multiply and divide. And then we will see once again that this stuff is repeated when we are not doing submit. So we're going to do some refactoring shortly. May as well do both at the same time. Oops. You. Multiply. Divide. Oh, I'm good at this. Divide. All right. Okay, So then you are going to be, and of course, I'm sure many of you already know, one of the things that is going to be an issue here. So I'm going to take these broken wings and learn to fly again, learn to live so free. And also when we hear, okay, anyway, moving on. So now we have all of this. Oh, I needed to test it first. Let's make sure that those work. We should see 4 check marks. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of refactoring, a little bit of orange, a little bit of cleaning. So for all of these, add, subtract, multiply, and divide, we're always setting the active operator. Okay. Ciao, Thindle. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're always setting the calculated value to be whatever was input. Yeah, I'll be on your stream. So yeah, definitely check out Thindle tomorrow. He'll be streaming. Shout out once again for the wonderful Thindles. Add shout out, nice. Dukasoft always does this for me. He's amazing. I get lazy and then I forget. But anyway, if you aren't following Thindle, there's a link, a quick way to follow him above. He is a .NET developer as well, working on things that look more cool than my stuff. And yeah, really good guy to hang out with. If you're interested in seeing our most recent conversation from Community Day on our channel, you can find it posted to YouTube. At least it should be there by now. Sumimasen. Whoa. You will find it in playlists in P01 Blazor project, and it will be the most recent video in the playlist. Yes, it is posted, which is Community Day from last Friday. And the reason all of the Community Day ones say Tracker Project is because it's one too many characters. It's not really 159 days. Like every Friday we have a community day where I'm not really working on the app, but I still kind of count it as a project day anyway. And then most of the streams, like I'm spending about 20 minutes working on the actual code and the rest of the time talking with everyone. Today is actually kind of unique in that we've been able to do quite a bit in the app. So that's cool. Okay, refactor time. So essentially, if we are not doing submit, then we're doing all of this extra stuff. So we don't need any extra cases for the current operator that we're passing in. We just need to know if op is not equal to operator.submit, then do these things. But in all cases, set the previous operator equal to the last operator. Awesome. And that should now keep all of our tests passing. Peter said, or first Thendall said, Visual Studio is open in the background. Yeah. So that counts as working on the project, right? Oh no, I have a meeting immediately after. I have a meeting immediately after the stream. We aren't going to raid out today, so I normally end my stream around around 10 minutes from now. So I will not be raiding out since I need to hop into a meeting immediately after. So let's just finish up this last little bit then. We didn't break any of the existing tests, which is good. That's what refactoring should do, make the code better, easier to maintain, but not break any of the existing tests. And the next one that I would really like to get before we end the stream is this divide by zero output. This one is going to be a little bit more involved. Because the way that we're going to handle it, how did I handle it last time? So last time, I think I wrote it with a try catch. So I would put a try catch around this part. And the only thing that we're going to catch is not divisible by zero. Cannot divide by zero. Divide by zero exception. And then I would update the formula output. However, since we know that this is going to be a thing that will happen if our displayed number input is 0, then why throw an exception? We know that it will happen only in that case. Why not just prevent that from ever happening? And do the things that we would do if we were going to catch that exception. So here, if our displayed num input is 0, then our formula output is going to be this. Did I do that one the right way? I think I did it the right way this time. Oh, you pass, you pass, you pass, you pass. Okay, so not divisible by 0, or can't divide by 0 is what I'm trying to make this thing say. Our current calculated value will be 0. We will handle clear clicked, otherwise we will do this. Oops. So here's the part that I'm not 100% sure of what I'm going to do. I'm still thinking about this. I was hoping to figure it out before we got to this point. But at this point, I don't want to do this part. And the way we can do that is by having a variable called calc error that will get set to true in this case. And we will only do this part if not calc error. Okay, so if we look at the Windows calculator, 5 divided by 0, cannot divide by 0 is what you get out here, but it resets. So it's not like you're continuing off of what you were doing. It will still reset completely. And that's the behavior that we are going to do as well. But we aren't going to like display the whole calculate by 0, not allowed. So anyway, this should work. And it does. And our test passed. And so that leaves us with our consecutive operators test, and then our operator after pressing submit. Ooh, not bad. Not bad at all. So, on advice of Peter, we are going to... Oh, I don't know how to do that here. Oh, yes, I do. Because all of these are... Oh, I'm in the wrong panel. Okay, so all of these are facts, but what we're going to do for the ones that we have not yet implemented, because I do want to check this into the repo, is to ignore them for now. Skip. Oh no, can you not skip theories? Ah. Why is skip a boolean? I mean a string? Oh, it's because it is the output, right? Yeah, the skip reason. Okay. So yeah, one thing that Peter said is when you have code checked in, first of all, you don't want your pipeline to fail. So if there are tests that are not yet implemented, skip them. Cool. And so now when we push play for all of our tests, we should have no red X's. And there we go. No red X's, lots of greens. Therefore, if somehow this entire thing got merged to main, we wouldn't be breaking the pipeline because all tests are passing or skipped. All right, and I will go ahead and push this. Calculator logic. All right, so first of all, I'm going to do this in parts. Let's go ahead and do this stage. And this is going to be playing around with redoing BitGamey's landing page with his permission, of course. The other one that we're going to do is we updated the test logic. Updated test logic. Don't know why I'm capitalizing everything. Stage that one. And you know, one thing that I did today that I didn't realize was going to happen, I don't have time to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I had some pending changes for a branch that I'm working on for my work product. It wasn't very many changes, but it's doing some improvements to accessibility, making sure that the narrator works with my HTML elements nicely. Capital C, capital L. Well, normally you can cherry pick undos even from your Solution Explorer. So right now you can see that I have some changes in some files, and you can right click, go to Get, Undo Changes. Well, I had some changes that I made to the CS proj file. And so I was thinking that by right clicking on the project node and going to Get Undo Changes, I would only undo the changes in the CS proj. No, that undoes changes for all of the files within that project too. and I just hit yes to it thinking that it was going to be okay. So then I just undid a whole bunch of changes that were not committed yet. Like, dang it. They were good changes too, like having my navigation tabs that go across the top say the right thing in narrator, and yeah. Anyway, this will be on our repo. You will be able to see it on the project repo on GitHub. And of course, you are welcome at this point. Anyone is invited to do any kind of contributing to the stream project. I am now open to take pull requests and stuff. Just fork it, make changes, do a pull request. We do have a few issues on there that are for anyone to pick up. Make your own issues. We'll do this like a for real open source project, because I want that experience as well. This video, I guess I'll go to this screen. So we are done with the stream for today. As mentioned, I have a meeting. It's already started because people are on top of it. But I have a meeting to go to, so I will hop off and not raid anyone, but I do hope to see you again someday. Doesn't have to be our next stream, but I will stream again on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time, which is currently UTC -6. You're always welcome to join us on Discord. We have the best non-bot bot, who is also now our Discord admin-ish. And he's just amazing. He's just such a cool person. But yeah, so feel free to join us again the next time, Wednesday, where we will finish up the calculator logic. It's going to work beautifully. We'll add things like being able to use numpad or top number entry to input your calculations. And yeah, that's it. It's going to be it for me for today. This video will be posted on YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after I end the stream, if I didn't say that yet. Okay, ciao for now. Here's some music.